there was a recent outbreak in Montana of the bacteria Campylobacter jejuni, which infected 6 people in a relatively short time frame. And this was concerning because normally in the state of Montana, within an entire year, only 5 people get contaminated with Campylobacter jejuni. This happened in a very short time frame, and it was 6 people. So of course the public health officials of Montana were very concerned about what was going on. It turns out all 6 people had drinking raw water, that is untreated, unprocessed water, and they had all drinking it from the same place, a place that they believed was a natural spring, but it was actually just a creek drainage that would apparently had Campylobacter jejuni in it. Not great. So the officials of Montana actually put like signs near the spring. I say natural spring. When I say natural spring, you conjure these images of like, this very beautiful, pristine place with, this beautiful like trickle of water coming right from nature. But this is the box that people were drinking from. This dirty, disgusting concrete box, which, as it turns out, had a family of birds living in it. It had a family of birds living in it that were pooping in the water and making everybody sick. So despite the county officials putting signs up all around this box, there was an additional 13 people. Okay. That was how to pronounce Campylobacter jejuni. Yeah, there's 13 more cases of people being infected with the disease Campylobacter jejuni. How many times can I say that within an episode? Campylobacter jejuni. So eventually they had to just completely reroute the intake that this water was coming from so that it just entirely went underground. That's like actually pretty disgusting. Yeah, this comes as part of a larger trend of people drinking raw water that started many years ago. I saw articles about it from 2017 and 2018. Yeah, essentially people that are concerned with the tap water, right? They're concerned with the fluoride that gets added to the tap water. That's really what it is. So they would rather just drink untreated water that they get from the wild. Well, it's not just fluoride, to be fair. It's also birth control that they add and mind control devices that they add to the tap water, of course. There's a company that was called Live Water that was around in 2018 that bottled its water from a spring in Oregon. I did see that there was a raw water company that turned out to just be selling tap water. I don't know if it was Live Water, if it was another raw water company. But Live Water was very interesting. This Vox article pinned down some interviews with some very interesting people. They pinned down an interview with the CEO, actually, of Live Water, Mukande Singh, and he said, quote, "Tap water, you're drinking toilet water with birth control drugs in them. Chloramine, and on top of that, they're putting in fluoride. Call me a conspiracy theorist, but it's a mind control drug that has no benefit to our dental health." I mean, yeah, that does. I mean, I think that does kind of make you a conspiracy theorist to say that. I don't know though. Yeah, the water that these guys were selling too was very expensive too. It was like $37 for like 2.5 gallons of water. Crazy that this company was selling this raw, unprocessed water for this Live Water. Some people just have the idea that all natural things are better than processed things, which I don't think is true. For instance, arsenic is natural, but I'm not sure. I'm not a chemist, but I'm pretty sure that if you eat arsenic, you die. And that's an element. It's as natural as it can get. Yeah, I think this type of thing can only really happen in a country like the United States, which has a water filtration and sanitation system that is so good that people rarely get waterborne illness. But back in the olden days, people left and right were getting waterborne illnesses like dysentery, a disease that causes diarrhea so bad that you literally crap yourself to death. It's pretty intense, actually. I don't think I'm not a doctor, but I don't think dysentery is better than drinking fluoride. Could be wrong though. No, I'm not wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure I could say confidently that I'm not wrong. That brings us to our next story, which is related kind of. Cow urine not fit for human consumption, says top animal research institute. This was a research institute in India, I believe, and they analyzed the urine of several different cows and found our good friend Escherichia coli in the urine of these cows, or E. coli, as it's known by its nickname, E. coli. This is pretty important because many people in India claim that drinking cow urine has many health benefits. I think even that people were claiming that cow urine can cure COVID-19. But it's not safe because it has E. coli in it. Also, it can't cure anything, I don't think. I don't think there's been any... Well, maybe there hasn't been any research done. Get on it, scientists. Oh, yeah, they also found at least 14 other types of harmful bacteria in the cow urine. It's just, I think that E. coli was the most prevalent, Escherichia coli, even though they were taken from urine samples from healthy cows. Yeah, don't drink untreated tap water and don't drink cow urine. Guys, can we just all calm down? Yeah, this reminds me about how I hear all the time. People say all the time, like, urine is actually sterile, so it's okay if you drink it. It most certainly is not sterile. Urine is not sterile. I don't know where this myth comes from. There's definitely bacteria that is found in urine. It was believed at one point, this article points out it was believed that the placenta in the woman's uterus is sterile. It was believed at one point that the placenta was sterile. But actually, it turns out it is not. There's not a place on the human body that isn't covered in bacteria that wants to kill you. Great. So this is a pretty interesting story. There was a toddler. I guess his family was visiting the White House, and the toddler basically just slipped right through the fence. I have no idea how, but somehow this toddler managed to make it into the grounds of the White House. So the Secret Service was notified pretty quickly by the security systems, and the toddler was pretty quickly apprehended. But he was quickly reunited with his parents. Usually doesn't happen. They keep getting younger. These terrorists. No, I think it was just some random kid that managed to get through the fence. This doesn't happen very often. It said that the White House increased their fence height to 13 feet a few years ago to discourage the amount of people that were breaking into the White House, I guess. But yeah, I guess the bars were further apart. And I guess it was far enough apart where this toddler was able to crawl through it. I think it says somewhere in this article. It's 5.5 inches between the posts. So like that much. I don't know. I'm still a little bit confused. It may be the first successful intrusion onto the complex since the White House fence was doubled in height to roughly 13 feet in recent years, after a series of security breaches. Wow. All right. Well, that's interesting. The world's youngest White House breacher. That's interesting. This is an interesting story from New Mexico. Scientists are trying to better understand the flight patterns of birds by making dead birds into drones. And don't worry, there is a video. Of a dead bird drone. Hybrid. Oh, God. Jesus. Oh, there it goes. Okay, that's enough. Have you ever seen a bird up close? Maybe they all look like that. I don't know. Maybe none of them are real. Yeah, they keep saying it's for like science and to like better understand flight patterns and whatever. I think it's just creepy. I think the scientists are just messing around, if I'm perfectly honest with you. Because this is exactly what I would want to be doing as a scientist, is making dead birds fly again. It's kind of poetic in a way. Yeah, so this next story is another story to come from India. There was an Indian couple that did a human sacrifice of themselves. Yeah, they had like this fire altar where they lit, I guess they lit a fire, and then they sort of climbed into this homemade device that decapitated both of them, and it was sort of designed in a way where their heads rolled into the fire. I mean, it's horrific, but it's also pretty metal. You got to give them that. And this couple had children. It's like, okay, I guess we're just gonna be by ourselves. Thanks, Mom and Dad. I'm glad my mom and dad aren't crazy. I mean, crazy like this. At the very least, you do have to give them credit for not sacrificing someone else, because, people all the time, they do human sacrifices of other people. But that's wimp. That's wimp behavior. Why not sacrifice yourselves if you're going to, if this is so important, because other people tend to not want to be sacrificed. I don't know if you've noticed that. All right. So longtime viewers of the channel know that I like to end weird news reports on a really good article, and this week is no different. Let's see what the last article is. About $100,000 in dimes stolen from Philadelphia truck in bizarre coin heist. So there was a truck driver that was driving from the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, which I guess is a thing, and was driving them down to Florida. The truck driver had to get some sleep, so he parked in a Walmart parking lot to get some sleep. That's pretty typical. A lot of truck drivers stop in Walmart parking lots to get sleep, which, you know what? If you need a sleep, that's a good idea. But while he was sleeping, a suspect got away with 1 million dimes, or about $100,000. Do you think the suspect got into the truck? Like maybe like the word like U.S. Mint was printed on the side of the truck, and they're like, that's the one we're gonna get. That one is filled with a bunch of money. And during the night, the criminals got into the truck And they look around and they're just like, what the crap is this? It's just a bunch of dimes. That would suck. There's also thousands of dimes just scattered across the parking lot, all the way to the nearby road. And that's a lot of dimes that they could have. That's a lot of dimes. Wait, this says that the suspect broke into the parked truck with bolt cutters? Is that all the thief needed was bolt cutters to access all of these dimes? You think that would have a better process for transporting money, right? than just leaving it overnight in a Walmart parking lot, protected only by a chain that can be cut by bolt cutters. But I'm not a professional, so I guess I don't know. Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Oh, and if you care, I probably won't be doing that many videos for the next couple of weeks because finals is coming up. I do have one more video that I need to edit, but besides that, I probably won't record any more videos. So that's what's going on there, if you care at all. But other than that, that's it. Bye.